The Inner Game of Greatness: How to Think, Act, and Dominate Like the Best, written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Greatness isn't built in the spotlight. It isn't won in stadiums, boardrooms, or arenas. It's forged in the mind long before the results ever show up. The world's best athletes, entrepreneurs, and visionaries aren't just operating at a higher level physically or strategically. They think differently. They see obstacles as opportunities, pressure as fuel, and failure as feedback. They don't hope for success, they expect it. The truth is that most people will never tap into their full potential. Not because they aren't talented enough, smart enough, or capable enough, but because they never master the mental game. They let fear dictate their actions. They hesitate when they should execute. They negotiate with doubt instead of training themselves to move forward, no matter what. This book is about eliminating those mental roadblocks and installing the mindset of champions. This is not a book about motivation. Motivation fades. It's unreliable. What separates the best from the rest isn't a moment of inspiration, it's an internal shift, or a decision. A rewiring of the way they think, act, and dominate. This book is about building a mindset that makes winning inevitable. It's about crafting an identity so powerful that discipline, execution, and consistency become second nature. You might be reading this because you know you're capable of more. You've felt it. That pull towards something greater, but maybe you've been stuck. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling. The truth? The best don't wait. They move. They step into discomfort, face resistance, and push forward despite uncertainty. By the time you finish this book, you won't just be inspired, you'll be equipped. You'll have the mindset, the habits, and the framework to step into your highest level. But it all starts with one thing: a choice. A choice to stop playing small. A choice to stop letting fear win. A choice to commit to thinking, acting, and dominating like the best. You're not here by accident. The only question now is, are you ready to step into greatness? Chapter 1. The Champion's Mentality. The world's greatest performers don't just play the game, they dominate it. Not because they were born with more talent, intelligence, or resources, but because they think differently. They see challenges as fuel, pressure as a privilege, and failure as feedback. They don't hope to win, they expect it. Most people let their thoughts control them. Champions control their thoughts. They refuse to negotiate with self-doubt. They don't entertain limiting beliefs. They don't wait for permission to be great. The shift from average to elite starts with one decision: deciding that your mind will be your greatest weapon, not your biggest enemy. Michael Jordan wasn't always the GOAT. In high school, he was cut from his basketball team. Most people would take that as proof they weren't good enough. Jordan used it as fuel. He didn't get bitter, he got better. He trained harder, obsessed over improvement, and rewired his mind to believe that he wasn't just going to succeed, he was going to dominate. That's the difference. Average people let failures define them. Champions use failures to refine them. Right now, you might be fighting the same battles. You question whether you have what it takes. You compare yourself to others and feel behind. You hesitate, waiting for the perfect time to start. That mindset is what's holding you back. Champions don't wait for perfect conditions. They start before they feel ready. They act before confidence kicks in. They move before the fear disappears. There's a reason the best athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers all talk about mindset. Tom Brady wasn't the most gifted quarterback. He was slow. His draft report called him a poor athlete with an average arm. But he had something no one could measure: an unshakable belief that he was going to be great. He trained his mind to block out the doubt, ignore the critics, and trust the work he was putting in. Now, he's considered the greatest of all time. Greatness isn't a one-time event. It's a habit. The best don't try to be great, they live it. They don't just practice when they feel like it. They show up every day, no matter what. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They build routines that eliminate choice, making success automatic. When they wake up, they don't decide whether they'll train, they just do it. When they face obstacles, they don't wonder if they'll push through, they just do it. If you want to operate at the highest level, you have to eliminate excuses. Champions don't blame circumstances, time, or talent. They take extreme ownership. They understand that no one is coming to save them. Their success is their responsibility, and that's exactly why they win. The moment you stop waiting for permission, the moment you stop hoping for luck, the moment you take full control of your actions, everything changes. The key to unlocking your potential isn't found in talent, genetics, or luck. It's found in your mind. When you master your mindset, you master your results. The battle isn't fought in the gym, on the field, or in the boardroom, it's fought in your head first. The champions of the world win mentally long before they ever win physically. Think about where you are right now. What's stopping you from going all in? What's keeping you from thinking, acting, and dominating like the best? Whatever it is, it's not external. It's internal. It's not the competition, the economy, or the circumstances, it's your thoughts. And that's good news. Because that means you have the power to change it. If you're ready to step into greatness, it starts now, not next week. Not when you feel ready. Now, decide that from this moment forward, you're done negotiating with mediocrity. You're done letting fear dictate your actions. You're done living below your potential. You're done waiting. Champions aren't made by luck. They're built through discipline, mindset, and relentless action. You have everything you need to win, if you're willing to commit. The only question left is, are you ready to think like a champion? Chapter 2. Pressure is a privilege. Pressure isn't the enemy. It's the proving ground. The best don't run from it, they seek it. They understand that pressure is what separates the contenders from the pretenders. When the stakes are high, the weak crumble, the strong rise. Champions don't fear pressure because they know it's a privilege. If you feel pressure, it means you're in the game. It means you have something worth fighting for. It means you're on the edge of a breakthrough. Most people let pressure paralyze them. They freeze, second-guess, and hesitate. Champions train themselves to respond differently. They embrace pressure as the ultimate test of mental toughness. They know that the ability to perform under stress isn't a talent, it's a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The best prepare for pressure before it arrives. Kobe Bryant didn't just accept pressure, he thrived on it. He wanted the ball in the final seconds. He lived for the moments that made others nervous. Why? Because he had already faced pressure in practice. While others took days off, he was training at 4 a.m., putting in thousands of extra reps. He knew that when the moment came, he wouldn't need confidence, he would have certainty. Champions remove doubt by preparing relentlessly. When the lights are the brightest, they don't hope they'll perform. They know they will. Right now, you might feel overwhelmed by pressure in your own life. Maybe it's a big opportunity. Maybe it's an expectation you don't feel ready for. Maybe it's the fear of failing in front of others. That feeling is normal. But here's what champions understand. Pressure isn't a signal to retreat. It's a signal to lock in. It's a sign that you're stepping into something meaningful. Pressure is proof that you're leveling up. Think about the greatest performers in history. Do you think they reached the top without pressure? No, they got there because they leaned into it. Serena Williams played her best when a championship was on the line. Michael Jordan delivered when the game was in his hands. Elon Musk bet everything on Tesla when the company was near collapse. The best don't shrink under pressure, they expand. The mistake most people make is thinking they need to feel comfortable to perform well. That's not how it works. Growth and comfort never coexist. If you want to rise to the highest level, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The moment you stop fearing pressure and start seeing it as fuel, everything changes. You stop avoiding challenges and start seeking them. You stop dreading big moments and start owning them. Pressure isn't personal. It doesn't care about your feelings. It only reveals one thing, whether you're ready or not. And here's the truth. There's no such thing as ready. Champions don't wait until they feel ready. They step into the fire and trust their preparation. They train their minds to see pressure as an opportunity, not a threat. They condition themselves to crave high-stakes situations because they know that's where growth happens. So how do you handle pressure like the best? You prepare harder than anyone else. You eliminate doubt by putting in the work when no one is watching. You stop thinking about the worst-case scenario and start focusing on executing. You breathe, stay present, and remind yourself that you've done this before. You let go of fear, and lock into the moment. Your relationship with pressure will define your success. If you see it as something to fear, you'll avoid the very situations that could elevate you. But if you see it as a privilege, you'll step into every challenge with confidence. You'll stop running from the moments that matter most and start dominating them. Right now, you have two choices. You can keep fearing pressure, letting it dictate your actions, making you hesitate, keeping you stuck. Or you can decide that from this moment forward, you will welcome it. You will seek it. You will use it. Because pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. Champions aren't the ones who avoid pressure. They're the ones who embrace it, master it, and use it as the ultimate weapon. The only question left is, when pressure comes knocking, will you answer? Chapter 3. The Death of Self-Doubt. Self-doubt is the silent killer of potential. It doesn't take you out with a single blow. It wears you down over time, convincing you that you're not good enough, not ready, not worthy. It whispers excuses that sound reasonable. It keeps you second-guessing, overthinking, hesitating, and before you know it, you've spent years playing small, waiting for permission to step into greatness. Champions don't have time for self-doubt. They know it's an illusion, a trick of the mind designed to keep them safe but not successful. They refuse to negotiate with thoughts that weaken them. They don't entertain limiting beliefs. They don't wait for confidence to show up before they act. They move first, and confidence follows. The only way to kill self-doubt is through action. Muhammad Ali wasn't born believing he was the greatest. He told himself he was until he believed it. He spoke his greatness into existence before the world saw it. When he said, "I am the greatest," he was programming his mind for dominance. The world called it arrogance. He called it certainty. Champions understand that confidence isn't something you have, it's something you create. You might think that the best performers never doubt themselves, but that's not true. They just don't let doubt dictate their actions. They don't sit in fear, waiting for the perfect moment. They move despite the uncertainty. The difference between the great and the average isn't the absence of self-doubt, it's the refusal to listen to it. Right now, you might be letting self-doubt run the show. Maybe you tell yourself you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not connected enough. Maybe you believe that other people are just built differently, that success is for them but not for you. That's a lie. The only difference between you and the best in the world is that they've trained their mind to believe in themselves before the results ever showed up. The mind is like a muscle. If you feed it weakness, it will grow weak. If you feed it strength, it will grow strong. Every time you choose self-doubt over action, you reinforce the belief that you're not capable. But every time you push forward despite the fear, you weaken self-doubt's grip on you. The secret is to act before you feel ready. Tom Brady wasn't the most talented quarterback. He was slow. He was overlooked. He was drafted 199th overall. But he believed in himself more than anyone else did. He trained his mind to expect success long before the world saw him as a winner. Now, he's a legend. Not because he was the best athlete, but because he refused to let doubt control him. Your identity shapes your actions. If you see yourself as average, you'll act that way. If you see yourself as a champion, you'll start making decisions that reflect it. The shift begins in your mind. Who you believe you are determines what you achieve. If you want different results, you must start by changing the story you tell yourself. Stop waiting to feel confident before you take action. Confidence comes from proving to yourself that you can do hard things. It's built through experience, not thoughts. The only way to silence self-doubt is to stack evidence against it. Every time you take action, you weaken its power. Every time you push forward despite the fear, you build unshakable belief. Think about how much time you've wasted doubting yourself, holding back, waiting. What would your life look like if you decided, right now, that self-doubt no longer had a seat at the table? What if you committed to acting as if success was inevitable? What if you stopped questioning your worth and started proving it? Self-doubt dies the moment you stop giving it power. From this point forward, you don't entertain it, you don't negotiate with it, you don't let it slow you down. You move, you execute, you prove to yourself that you are capable all along. The greats don't wait for permission to believe in themselves. They decide. Right now you have that same choice. Will you keep listening to the voice that tells you you're not enough? Or will you silence it with action? Chapter 4. Win the morning, win the day. How you start your morning determines everything. The best performers don't leave their mornings to chance. They don't wake up and react to the day. They wake up and take control. They set the tone before the world has a chance to. They understand that the first hour of the day shapes the next 23. Most people wake up already behind. They hit snooze. They check their phone. They rush through their morning, letting distractions dictate their mood. By the time they get to work or start their day, they're already in a reactive state. Champions operate differently. They take ownership of their morning because they know that small habits compound into massive results. Kobe Bryant started his mornings at 4 a.m., not because he had to, but because he wanted to gain an edge over everyone else. He knew that if he trained before his competition even woke up, he would always be ahead. His mindset was simple: dominate the morning and winning becomes inevitable. What you do in the morning sends a message to your brain. If you start with discipline, your brain registers that you are in control. If you start with laziness, your brain assumes that's the standard for the day. Champions don't negotiate with themselves in the morning. They don't debate whether they feel like getting up early. They get up because they've already decided to. Right now, your morning routine is either pushing you closer to success or pulling you further away. There is no neutral. If you start your day on autopilot, reacting to notifications, scrolling through social media, and rushing through the morning, you're setting yourself up for mediocrity. If you start your day with intention, discipline, and focus, you're setting yourself up to win. The world's best performers follow structured morning routines. They wake up at the same time every day, eliminating decision fatigue. They move their body, activating their energy. They prime their mind with gratitude, visualization, or affirmations, setting their internal state for the day. They avoid distractions, ensuring their focus is locked in before the outside world demands their attention. Winning the morning isn't about waking up at a specific time. It's about taking control. If you wake up at 4 a.m. but spend the first hour scrolling through your phone, you've already lost. But if you wake up at 6 a.m. and spend that time working on your goals, moving your body, and preparing for the day, you've already won. The time on the clock doesn't matter. What you do with it does. Most people struggle with mornings because they don't have a plan. They rely on motivation to get up early, but motivation is unreliable. Champions remove the need for motivation by creating systems. They set their alarm across the room so they have to get up. They prep their workout clothes the night before, so there's no excuse. They make morning discipline automatic. Think about your own mornings. Are they designed for success? Or are they designed for comfort? If you're starting your day in a reactive state, waiting until the last possible moment to get moving, you're making success harder than it needs to be. The best don't rely on chance. They set themselves up to win before the day even begins. Winning is a habit. Losing is too. The first battle you face every day is with yourself. Do you get up and attack the day, or do you hit snooze and delay success? Do you prime your mind for greatness, or do you fill it with distractions? The choice you make in the morning is the foundation for the choices you make all day. From this moment forward, your mornings are non-negotiable. You will wake up with intention. You will set the tone before the world does. You will operate like the best because you are becoming the best. Every morning is an opportunity to separate yourself from the competition. The only question is, will you take it? Chapter 5. Ruthless Execution. The difference between those who win and those who don't isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's execution. The best don't sit around overthinking, waiting for the perfect moment. They act. They move. They execute with speed and precision. They understand that hesitation kills momentum. Champions don't wait until they feel ready, because they know that readiness is a myth. Most people spend their lives trapped in indecision. They analyze every possibility, trying to predict the perfect outcome. They let fear of failure keep them from taking the first step. Meanwhile, the best are already moving. They aren't reckless, but they don't waste time. They make decisions quickly, adjust when necessary, and keep going. They understand that progress beats perfection every time. Jeff Bezos built Amazon into a $1 trillion empire by making decisions fast. He follows a rule. If you have 70% of the information, you make the call. If you wait until you're 100% sure, you're moving too slow. Champions operate the same way. They trust their instincts. They commit. They take action, knowing they can course correct as they go. Right now, hesitation might be costing you everything. You want to start the business, launch the project, make the move, but you keep waiting. You tell yourself you need more time, more research, more certainty. The truth is, you don't need more information, you need more action. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. Champions don't let doubt creep in. They train themselves to execute immediately. Overthinking is a dream killer. It creates a loop of inaction. The more you think, the more reasons you find to delay. The more you delay, the more anxiety builds. The more anxiety builds, the harder it becomes to start. Champions break this cycle by moving first. They know that clarity comes from action, not thought. They don't wait for confidence. They build confidence through execution. Kobe Bryant was ruthless in his approach. He didn't waste time thinking about whether he should train. He just did it. He didn't hesitate when the game was on the line. He trusted the work he had put in. That's what separates the elite from everyone else. They do the work first, so when the moment comes they don't have to think, they just execute. If you want to operate at the highest level, you need to eliminate hesitation. You need to train yourself to move fast and adjust later. The best don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They don't wait for the fear to go away. They don't wait for the universe to give them a sign. They decide, they commit, and they execute. Speed matters. Every second you delay is an opportunity someone else is taking. Every day you wait is another day wasted. The best don't tolerate wasted time. They move with urgency. They treat their goals like life or death because to them they are. They understand that hesitation isn't harmless. It's the reason most people never make it. The secret to execution is simple. Just start. Whatever it is you've been putting off, do it now. Don't overthink. Don't wait for the right time. Don't let fear dictate your choices. Move. The moment you take action, the doubt fades. The more you execute, the more unstoppable you become. The best don't hope for success. They create it through relentless action. Right now you have a choice. You can keep waiting, keep hesitating, keep overthinking, or you can commit to ruthless execution. You can start operating like the best. You can train yourself to take action without hesitation. You can move with the kind of speed and certainty that separates champions from everyone else. Champions don't talk about what they're going to do, they just do it. They don't let fear slow them down. They don't let doubt control them. They decide, they execute, and they dominate. The only question left is, are you ready to do the same? Chapter 6. The secret to relentless consistency. Champions aren't great because they have flashes of brilliance. They're great because they show up every single day, no matter what. Consistency is the foundation of excellence. It's what turns effort into mastery, discipline into dominance. The best don't rely on motivation. They don't wait until they feel like it. They execute whether they're excited or exhausted. Most people fail because they treat success like an event instead of a habit. They sprint for a few days, then burn out. They go hard when they feel inspired, then disappear when the excitement fades. Champions operate differently. They understand that greatness isn't built in one massive moment, it's built in thousands of small, disciplined actions. James Clear calls it the 1% rule. Improve by just 1% every day, and the results compound. Over time, that small daily edge turns into an unstoppable force. This is why the best are ruthless about showing up, even when it's inconvenient. They don't negotiate with their routines. They don't break the chain. They don't allow excuses to creep in. Kobe Bryant had a rule: never miss 2 days in a row. Everyone has off days. But champions never let one bad day become a pattern. They get back on track immediately. They understand that what you do occasionally doesn't define you, what you do consistently does. Right now, your level of success is a reflection of your habits. If you're inconsistent, your results will be inconsistent. If you're disciplined, your results will be unstoppable. The difference between the elite and the average isn't talent. It's that the elite stay locked in long after the excitement is gone. The mistake most people make is waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It's inconsistent. It comes and goes. Champions don't trust it. They rely on discipline instead. They build habits that remove the need for motivation. They create systems that make success automatic. They structure their days so their actions align with their goals, regardless of how they feel. Think about your own habits. Are they designed for long-term success, or do you find yourself starting strong and fading fast? If you struggle with consistency, it's not a personality trait, it's a system problem. Champions build systems that make discipline easy. They remove friction. They simplify the process. They make showing up the default setting. Tom Brady didn't become the greatest quarterback by working hard for a few weeks. He did it by executing daily for over 2 decades. He treated every practice like a game, every rep like it mattered. He didn't rely on motivation. He relied on structure, process, and unwavering discipline. The best understand that repetition is the mother of skill. The more you do something, the better you get. The better you get, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes, the more you do it. This is why consistency is the ultimate cheat code. It turns effort into muscle memory. It transforms hard things into second nature. Right now, you might be caught in a cycle of inconsistency. You go hard for a week, then fall off. You make progress, then sabotage yourself. That stops today. From this moment forward, you commit to showing up, no matter what. You commit to building habits that make success inevitable. You commit to eliminating the all-or-nothing mindset and replacing it with relentless execution. The difference between those who win and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's who stays the course. It's who does the work even when no one is watching. It's who refuses to quit when the excitement fades. Champions don't let feelings dictate their actions, they let commitment drive them. They don't let emotions control their habits. They let discipline lead the way. The only question is, are you willing to do the same? Chapter 7. Play the long game. Most people quit too soon. They chase quick wins, get frustrated when results don't come fast enough, and abandon the process before greatness has a chance to take root. Champions think differently. They understand that success is a long game. They aren't interested in instant gratification, they're focused on sustained dominance. The world rewards those who have the patience to outlast everyone else. The best don't just work hard, they work consistently over time. They embrace the process, knowing that every rep, every lesson, and every setback compounds into something greater. They don't measure progress in days or weeks. They measure it in years. Warren Buffett didn't become one of the richest men on the planet overnight. He mastered the art of patience, letting his investments grow over decades. His strategy was simple: stay in the game longer than everyone else. The same principle applies to any pursuit. The best don't need to be the most talented, they just need to be the last ones standing. Right now you might feel frustrated because success isn't happening as fast as you want. You might be questioning whether the work is worth it. That's normal. But the difference between champions and everyone else is that champions don't let temporary frustration lead to permanent failure. They stay the course. They trust the process. They keep going when others stop. The mistake most people make is expecting results too soon. They put in the work for a few weeks, don't see immediate success, and assume they're failing. They aren't. They're just in the early stages of something great. Champions understand that every overnight success was years in the making. The best operate with a different timeline. They aren't trying to win this week, or this month. They're playing for years, even decades. They understand that mastery takes time, and they refuse to be distracted by short-term disappointments. They don't get discouraged by slow progress, because they know slow progress is still progress. Tom Brady didn't become the greatest quarterback by chasing quick wins. He stayed in the league longer than anyone expected, refining his game year after year. He played the long game, stacking small improvements until they turned into legendary achievements. That's how the best do it. They commit to the process long after the excitement fades. Success isn't a straight path. It's full of setbacks, failures, and obstacles. The difference between champions and quitters is simple. Champions don't stop. They adjust, adapt, and keep moving forward. They expect adversity and embrace it. They don't let short-term struggles shake their belief in long-term success. Right now you have a choice. You can keep looking for shortcuts, getting frustrated when things don't happen fast enough, or you can commit to the long game. You can train your mind to stay locked in, no matter how long it takes. You can develop the patience to endure, outwork, and outlast. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a week and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. The best understand that consistency over time beats intensity in the short term. They don't burn out chasing fast results. They pace themselves, knowing that true greatness is built brick by brick. Think about where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years. Are you willing to put in the work consistently, even when progress feels slow? Are you willing to stay focused when others lose interest? Are you willing to keep pushing forward when no one is watching? That's the real test. The long game isn't easy, but it's the only way to lasting success. The best don't just show up when things are exciting, they show up every day, rain or shine, with or without recognition. They play for legacy, not quick wins. Champions aren't in a hurry. They don't rush the process. They trust it. They know that success isn't about how fast you start, it's about how long you last. The only question is, are you willing to stay in the game long enough to win? Chapter 8. Own the room. Champions don't just participate, they take over. They don't shrink in the presence of greatness. They step up and make their presence felt. They own the room before they even speak. Their confidence isn't arrogance, it's certainty. They know who they are, what they bring, and why they belong. Most people walk into a room hoping to be accepted. They scan for approval, waiting for someone else to validate them. Champions don't wait. They decide in advance that they belong. They move with a level of self-assurance that forces the world to take notice. They don't need permission to be great, they claim it. Think of Michael Jordan in the locker room. His teammates didn't just respect him, they followed him. His energy set the tone. His confidence was unshakable. He expected to win, and because of that, others expected the same. That's the power of presence. When you believe in yourself at the highest level, people feel it before you even speak. Right now you might be playing small. You might be walking into situations hoping to fit in instead of owning your space. That stops today. From this moment forward, you don't ask for a seat at the table, you take one. You don't wait to be noticed, you make yourself impossible to ignore. You don't let fear dictate your energy, you move with purpose, certainty, and control. The secret to commanding presence isn't about being the loudest person in the room, it's about how you carry yourself. Champions move with intention. They stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with conviction. They don't fidget, hesitate, or second guess. They move like they expect to win because they do. Elon Musk doesn't have the loudest voice, but when he speaks, the world listens. He doesn't rush his words. He doesn't fill silence with nervous chatter. He speaks with confidence because he trusts what he's saying. Champions understand that certainty is more powerful than volume. People follow those who move with conviction. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. The more you own your space, the more natural it becomes. The best don't walk into a room wondering if they belong. They decide before they step in. They train their mind to believe in their value. They don't downplay their skills. They don't make themselves smaller to make others comfortable. Right now, think about how you carry yourself. Do you walk into rooms with presence, or do you fade into the background? Do you speak with certainty, or do you let doubt creep into your voice? Do you expect to be heard, or do you hesitate? Champions don't hesitate. They step in and set the tone. Owning the room isn't about impressing people. It's about showing up as your highest self. It's about moving with purpose. It's about controlling the energy instead of reacting to it. The best don't let the environment shape them. They shape the environment. They dictate the energy, the conversation, and the expectations. Tom Brady walks into every game knowing he's the best on the field, not because he's arrogant, but because he's prepared. Champions don't rely on hope. They build an unshakable foundation of confidence through preparation, repetition, and belief. They know they've done the work, so they trust themselves when the moment comes. From this moment forward, you commit to walking into every room like you belong. You commit to speaking with confidence, standing with purpose, and moving with certainty. You commit to owning your space, your energy, and your future. You will no longer wait for approval. You will no longer shrink to make others comfortable. Champions don't apologize for their greatness. They embrace it. They own it. They set the standard not just for themselves but for everyone around them. The only question left is, are you ready to step up and own the room? Chapter 9. The Loneliness of Greatness. Greatness is a lonely road. The higher you climb, the fewer people will understand your journey. The best don't fear this, they embrace it. They understand that the price of excellence is isolation. They know that if they want to reach levels others never will, they have to be willing to walk a path few are willing to take. Most people crave acceptance. They want to fit in, to be liked, to belong. But champions don't live for approval. They live for purpose. They know that doing what's necessary will often make them an outlier. They don't expect people to understand their vision. They don't waste energy explaining themselves to those who don't think big. They stay focused on the mission. Elon Musk was ridiculed when he bet everything on Tesla. People laughed at his vision. They said he was crazy. He didn't care. He kept pushing, kept believing, kept building. Now, the same people who doubted him call him a genius. Champions don't seek validation. They let results do the talking. Right now, you might feel alone in your pursuit of greatness. Your friends might not understand why you're so obsessed. Your family might question why you're working so hard. That's normal. The closer you get to the next level, the more people will doubt you. Not because they don't believe in you, but because they can't see what you see. The mistake most people make is letting loneliness pull them back to mediocrity. They start to question themselves. They think, maybe I should slow down, maybe I should fit in. Champions never think like that. They know that loneliness isn't a sign they're doing something wrong, it's proof they're on the right track. Kobe Bryant was obsessed with improvement. While others partied, he trained. While others slept, he worked. He isolated himself from distractions, from negativity, from anything that didn't serve his mission. He understood that true greatness requires a level of focus most people aren't willing to maintain. Right now, you have a choice. You can surround yourself with comfort, with average people, with those who want to keep you at their level. Or you can embrace the loneliness, use it as fuel, and keep pushing forward. The best don't fear being different. They know that standing out is the only way to rise. Success creates distance. As you grow, you will outpace those who refuse to evolve. You will lose friendships that were built on comfort, not ambition. You will realize that many people don't actually want you to succeed, they want you to stay the same. The best don't let this stop them. They keep moving forward, no matter who stays or who leaves. Think about the greatest leaders, athletes, and entrepreneurs. They all experienced moments of isolation. They all faced resistance. They all had to push through doubt, criticism, and loneliness. The difference is, they didn't let it break them. They used it to sharpen their focus. If you want to be great, you have to be okay with standing alone. You have to be willing to go all in, even when no one else believes in you. You have to train yourself to be your own biggest supporter, your own motivation, your own competition. The best don't need a crowd to keep going. They keep going because they refuse to stop. The loneliness of greatness isn't a weakness, it's a filter. It separates those who are truly committed from those who are just interested. It forces you to decide whether you're willing to keep pushing, even when no one is clapping. It tests whether your vision is strong enough to survive without external validation. Right now, you might be tempted to slow down, to make yourself more relatable, to fit in. But champions don't shrink themselves to make others comfortable. They don't downplay their ambition to be accepted. They don't let loneliness make them question their mission. Champions walk alone because they know that eventually, the world will catch up. They don't need recognition now. They don't need applause. They trust that if they stay the course, the results will speak for themselves. The only question left is, are you willing to keep going when no one else understands? Chapter 10. The Final Evolution. There comes a point where greatness is no longer something you chase. It becomes who you are. The habits, the mindset, the discipline, they stop feeling like effort. They become automatic. Champions don't just do great things, they embody greatness. It becomes their identity, their default setting. They don't need motivation because their actions are aligned with who they believe themselves to be. Most people never reach this level because they stop too soon. They do the work when it's exciting. They push hard when results are immediate. But when progress slows, when the grind becomes routine, they fall off. Champions never stop. They never need to start over because they never quit in the first place. The final evolution isn't about working harder, it's about sustaining the level that others can't. Michael Jordan didn't stop training after winning his first championship. He didn't relax after proving he was the best. He kept going. Not because he had to, but because that's who he was. Champions don't just win once. They dominate over time. They create legacies that last. Right now, you might still see success as something outside of you. You might still be trying to force discipline, to push yourself into greatness. That's fine. That's where everyone starts. But at some point, you have to make the shift. You have to stop chasing and start becoming. The best don't try to be great, they just are. The mistake most people make is thinking that once they hit a goal, they can relax. But the moment you stop evolving is the moment you start declining. Champions never let success make them complacent. They stay hungry. They stay locked in. They never allow themselves to slip into comfort. Tom Brady won multiple championships but trained like he was still an underdog. He understood that sustaining greatness requires the same intensity as reaching it. The best don't wait until they feel behind to push harder. They stay ahead by never letting up. They don't need external pressure to keep them sharp. They create their own urgency. You have to ask yourself, what kind of success are you after? Do you want to win once, or do you want to dominate for life? Do you want a moment of greatness, or do you want mastery? The best don't look for quick wins. They play for legacy. Think about where you are right now. Everything you've learned in this book has given you the tools to operate like the best. But tools mean nothing if you don't use them. The final step is integration. It's turning discipline into instinct, effort into identity. It's moving from forcing success to living it. The challenge isn't reaching the top. It's staying there. It's sustaining focus when you no longer need motivation. It's maintaining intensity when no one is watching. It's continuing to improve when you've already proven yourself. The best don't reach a peak. They keep climbing. This is the final test. Can you stay locked in when success is no longer a novelty? Can you keep showing up when there's no immediate reward? Can you continue evolving when you've already won? The answer will determine whether you become one of the greats or just another person who had potential. Right now you have a choice. You can take what you've learned and let it fade, or you can commit to mastery. You can let success make you comfortable, or you can let it push you further. You can be great for a moment, or you can be someone who never stopped evolving. Champions don't settle. They don't slow down. They don't let success soften them. They commit to growth until the very end. The only question left is, are you ready to evolve into your final form? Chapter 11. Your greatness begins now. There's nothing left to wait for. You've read the lessons. You've seen how the best think, act, and dominate. You understand what it takes. Now, the only thing standing between you and greatness is action. Champions don't sit on knowledge. They apply it. They don't overthink. They move. They don't make excuses. They execute. Most people finish books like this feeling inspired but do nothing with it. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, when the timing is better. That's a lie. The best know that waiting is just another form of fear. They don't wait for perfect conditions because they know perfect conditions don't exist. They move forward despite the uncertainty. Right now, you have everything you need to win. You have the tools to rewire your mind, to eliminate doubt, to push through resistance. You understand the power of pressure, the necessity of consistency, and the mindset required to sustain success. But knowledge alone is worthless. Without action, nothing changes. Think of the greatest in history. Did they sit around waiting for the right moment? Did they hesitate? Did they let fear hold them back? No, they made a decision. They committed. They stepped into their greatness without guarantees, without knowing exactly how things would unfold. They trusted themselves enough to take the first step. Look at your own life. How many opportunities have you let slip by because you hesitated? How many moments have you allowed fear to control? How much longer are you going to wait to go all in? You don't need another pep talk. You need to start. Champions don't seek motivation. They create it. They don't wait until they feel ready. They start, and the momentum follows. If you only act when you feel inspired, you'll never get anywhere. The best know that discipline is what separates winners from dreamers. Right now you have a choice. You can close this book and go back to the way things were, or you can commit to a new standard. You can decide that from this moment forward, you will operate differently. You will think differently, act differently, and move through the world like someone who refuses to lose. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they have time. They think they can wait to take action. They think they can delay success without consequence. But every day wasted is a day you'll never get back. The best don't gamble with time. They use every second to get better, to move forward, to separate themselves from the competition. What happens next is entirely up to you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you greatness. You have to take it. You have to make the decision, right now, that you will never again accept mediocrity. You will never again let fear dictate your actions. You will never again let doubt hold you back. There will be moments of resistance. There will be days when you want to quit. That's when you remind yourself who you are becoming. That's when you push through. That's when you lean on the mindset, habits, and principles you've learned. That's when you separate yourself from the masses. The path to greatness isn't complicated, it's simple. Decide who you want to be, build the habits that align with that identity, take action every single day, no matter what. Never stop evolving. Never settle. Never look back. Your greatness doesn't start tomorrow, it starts now, not next week. Not when you feel ready, now. Champions don't wait. They move. The only question left is, will you? Take care and be well.